Texas. They say everything's bigger here, and they're right. We've got big cars, big hearts, and even bigger steaks. This is beef country, Texas, home to the Alamo, the Cowboys, and the largest military installation known to man. So big, it has a big name. Fort Hood, the great place. It's got a Texas-sized podcast as well. And this is it, right here, Fort Hood's great big podcast. Yeehaw.
So the show drops on Thanksgiving Day.
Woo! Yay!
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, yo.
Yes.
I'm about to stuff myself.
Happy Turkey Day.
All right. We will have to get an update on how your culinary skills came about.
Yes.
Brianna,
I'm nervous.
you should be.
I am. I feel the pressure.
Remember,
the heat is rising
undercooked
already.
poultry is a total no-go.
Yes.
All right.
I definitely don't want that.
If you're going to dry it out, okay. First
But if
time,
it's overcooked,
throw some gravy on it if it's overcooked.
that's true.
Cook it upside down.
Upside down.
Gravy will fix everything.
Okay, I like that. Will it fix the cracks in my heart? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you know.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, well.
I don't have any cracks. I love my fiance.
So that's good. Thanksgiving really is all about family,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got a new edition, not just the baby in February, you got a newer edition, right, Melissa?
Yes, on Friday, we picked up a miniature long hair dachshund.
Oh.
Miniature long hair.
Yes, miniature long hair. So he's got long hair, kind of. He's still a baby, but he's
And he's a wiener dog.
kind of.
No.
He's
That's what a dachshund is.
Yeah.
Okay.
The wiener dogs.
yeah.
They're
Yeah?
so cute.
Yeah, so he's 6 weeks old, which this morning he woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, just like any newborn would.
Yeah.
And then I had to stay up because he wouldn't just go back to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, no.
last week we were talking about Logan and him getting up in the middle of the
Yeah.
night.
Oh, I
just
know.
Added
They're
to that?
together. Oh.
Are you,
He's
a
in a
are you a
pod.
glutton for punishment? Is that what this is?
Probably.
Does he have a personality yet? Have you noticed something?
He right now. I just noticed that he's really needy. He follows me around everywhere and
Does,
does ankle
does
bites.
he have a name?
His name is Chip
Chip.
Chip.
because he looks like a chocolate chip.
Well, there you go.
That's cute.
or we're gonna call him Tank.
Oh, okay.
Because
You're
he's
still
so
figuring it.
big,
Yeah.
right?
He only weighs 3 pounds.
Wow.
So cute.
How big is he supposed to get?
The max maybe 11 to 13 pounds.
That's
So
not
my
bad.
cat is fatter than this dog.
Wow.
I like
and
that.
will be forever.
I like smaller dogs.
Yeah.
I can't do big
As long as
dogs.
they're not yippy. Yippy dogs.
Yeah, they usually are though.
They
The
bark
small
too
ones
much.
are always yippy.
Yip,
Yeah.
yip, 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 yip.
I have a harder time. Like I have a hard time walking bigger dogs. That's why I don't really like them. They easily overpower
Kinda
me. And
take
like,
off with you.
yeah, they'll like.
Who's walking who?
Yeah, that's exactly why I can't. I can't do big dogs.
Yeah.
I don't mind them though. They're so adorable. But I would have a very difficult time taking care of one by myself. So that's why I like the smaller ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cute. Carry
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
First dog.
So are you thankful for what else do you have to be thankful for other than your brand new adorable puppy?
Lack of sleep.
Gonna catch up on sleep for the Thanksgiving?
You know, I'm very thankful for my husband because he lets me catch up on sleep on the
yes.
weekends.
Shout out.
Yes.
Love that.
And during the week, he cooks and stuff and takes care of our family.
Oh,
Stay home dad.
what are you
Shout out.
thankful for, Dave?
I got the family coming over.
That's nice.
That's cool. The boys are over. And they get stuffed, and I get to send all of those leftovers out. So, I don't have to eat turkey for a week after Thanksgiving. They do.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for that.
That's great.
25 pounds of turkey.
Oh,
Oh my goodness, that's a huge turkey.
I know.
Is it more than one or just one?
It's one turkey.
what?
I've
So,
never.
When did
heard
you start
of a turkey that
defrosting it?
big.
You started defrosting it already, right?
Yeah, we bought it 5 days ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been in the fridge for 5 days.
Oh,
Wow.
It'll be ready.
man.
It'll be ready.
Countdown.
Yeah, can't wait.
I have a turkey pate for my cat.
Ooh.
She's going to get some turkey.
Turkey pate.
Turkey goodness.
Pate.
Pate.
That's just French for we
Party?
charge more.
Yeah. It's more of a gourmet style
See?
food instead of the the dry hard food.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
So.
French too. Gourmet.
Oh yeah, you're
The
right.
T is
Gourmet.
silent. So what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful.
That she didn't answer that call?
Yes. I'm thankful that I get to see my family this
Yeah,
year
yeah.
and that I have a kitchen to cook in.
And you get
even
to
though it's going
host.
to be. I know. I am so nervous. I spent this weekend cleaning feverishly and making sure the spare room looks nice and cozy and relaxing.
And you're
So-
thankful for that all that extra work?
I
Good for
actually
you.
am. It's better than living in a barracks room, let me tell you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
It's-
absolutely.
Yeah, it's just nice to be able to go into a different location because I just had always just one room,
Right.
and a common area. But you're with a stranger, or hopefully someone you can get along with.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very much an introvert, so I like to be by myself.
Yep.
So it's nice to go to the different rooms.
Yep. And Melissa,
yes.
you actually got out and about and talked to some 504th Military Intelligence Brigade types
Yes.
about their Thanksgiving stuff. Tell us all about it. I can't wait.
Yes. So
Can we put it to music?
what?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's put it to
Fade
music.
out.
Okay, go.
Specialist Bridget Midori. She actually likes to make tamales with her family, and that it takes a really long time, so she gets to spend time with her family.
My favorite Thanksgiving tradition is making tamales with my family, and it takes all day long, so I get to spend a lot of time with them.
Staff Sergeant Timothy Cook, he likes to smoke his ham.
Nice.
My favorite Thanksgiving tradition is smoking the ham.
Oh, I used to smoke cigarettes. I've never smoked a ham. And number 3.
We have Staff Sergeant Elves and Cook.
Staff Sergeant Allison Cookmeyer.
Who really likes the stuffing from inside the turkey.
My favorite family tradition during the holidays for Thanksgiving is spending time with my family and enjoying a nice turkey that's been stuffed with stuffing.
Okay. So that was different.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. You're going to do that more often, right?
Yes, absolutely. My
Get out and
next
about, talk to
one-
people, stick your phone in their face and say, tell me something funny
Yes.
or not.
I never thought about doing it with my phone. I will do it with my phone.
Yeah, you can
next
do it with
time.
your phone. It's quick,
Yeah.
especially if you just want audio. But you can do video there too.
I'm going to do that now.
Faster,
Yeah, I know. It took me forever to set up.
straight up to social media.
But that was your first time, right?
Yes.
Oh, see, there you go. It's got to start somewhere,
Absolutely.
just like my cooking.
You know, so when I lived in Virginia, I didn't know how to cook, right? So I used to cook all these crazy things, mostly cheesecakes. The only cheesecakes that didn't come out good were the strawberry ones because you have to add what do you call it? Lemon juice to them, so they tasted like lemon instead of strawberry. Anyway, so they got butchered a lot, and then I started cooking turkeys for the first time right after I moved from Virginia to Maine. So, they came out really terrible at first.
Oh man.
There's hope for you though. It really is.
Just know,
Okay.
though, but know that my turkeys now are very savory.
Yay.
Yay.
Okay. We got to go to break because we actually have a really cool show. We have the president from Santa's Workshop, and she's coming up right after this.
Ask any elf, and they'll tell you where the real magic is. It's when their eyes light up, when they see the spirit of the season. Explore the winter wonderland of nature and lights at the Belton Lake Outdoor Recreation Area. Load up the family and come out to see the wonder of over 5 miles of holiday light displays and more. Make time to make memories this year and share the tradition. Nature and lights. Share the magic.
Masks on for safety, masks on for safety. In the store, when you walk in the door. Masks on for safety, masks on for safety. Day or night, do what's right.
Look, bad jingles aren't going to stop the coronavirus, but wearing a mask or a face covering can help lower the chance of infection or spread. So do your part and mask up. Or we may just have to keep singing.
Masks on for safety, masks on for safety. Be a mouth and noser, or else you're a poser.
Do what's right, save a life, wear a mask.
It's what your tax dollars sound like. Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast.
And we're back. Melissa's on the phone with somebody. I have no idea who she's talking to.
My UPAR.
Oh,
It's a busy, busy morning.
there you go. A UPAR. That would be Unit Public Affairs Representative.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, now you know. Now you learned
UPAR.
something new.
There's an acronym for everything.
UPAR. There's an acronym.
I
for
gave him the
everything.
whole entire kit except for SD cards.
Okay.
I don't know what she just said.
Well, the SD card is that thing that we're recording on here.
Yes, yes.
So-
I do know
the thing that makes the camera work.
The thing
is
that makes the camera
pictures.
work and the thing where we put the audio on so I can stick it in the computer and
So
edit
basically,
with
you kind of need it to do the job.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I know what an SD card is. I didn't know what the rest of that
All right,
sentence.
let's get this segment underway.
Yeah,
we
let's
are
keep
joined by
So today we have Katheryn Light, who is the president, the top dog at Santa's Workshop. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for having us.
we're going to have some
Yes.
fun.
So,
we really are.
do you have to report to Santa or does Santa report to you?
It really depends on the situation.
Okay, that's good.
If I'm being naughty, then definitely have to report to Santa. But if
okay.
I'm behaving, then Santa has to report to me.
There
you get
you
to
go.
tell Santa what to do?
Absolutely.
I love
Wow.
it.
We get to tell him when to
power.
report, when to go home. It's fantastic.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
breaking the glass ceiling.
I know.
Yeah, right?
No.
I love it.
So Santa's Workshop, it is a nonprofit, and it was started by the 13th then COSCOM.
Correct.
What did COSCOM stand for again? I don't remember.
You don't get. My husband's
Course-
a tanker,
course-
so I'm not quite sure.
Corps Support Command.
There we go.
Now it's
Oh, Corps
not-
Support
Corps
Command.
Support Command.
There we go.
I
All
mean,
the
it's the same
acronyms.
thing. 13th Expeditionary.
And your
Blah
system-
blah blah.
Well, ESC is Expeditionary Sustainment Command. I know that one.
Well, there you go.
See.
Well,
I don't
but
know that
that's who they grew into. But anyway, that started way back in the day, and it became post-wide in 1998. So you guys have been at this for a long
Yeah, a little over
time.
20 years.
Wow.
Over 20 years. It did. It started in what was then 13th COSCOM, and it started as a unit effort to make sure that their soldiers and families were taken care of at Christmas time. And then it did not take long for them to realize that there was a need larger outside of their organization.
Sure.
Wow.
So 13th COSCOM and their private organization, 13th COSCOM Association, came together to create what we are today, which is a 501c nonprofit that services the whole installation.
How many kids per year? Well, give me an example. Last year, how many kids were you able to
Help.
make a Merry Christmas?
Last year, the kiddos were around 1,800 and about 1,300 families.
Wow.
So on average per year, Our range for families is between 1,200 and 1,500, depending on the year. And then children serviced usually range from 1,600 to 2,700.
Wow.
So this year, we're servicing about 900 more kiddos than last year, which we anticipated because, COVID and everything that's going on this year. So we made sure we were able to and ready to support more. And then that is about 2,600 families, 2,600 kids and 1,400 families this year.
Wow. Wow.
So in the past 4 years, we've serviced like 4,500 families and almost 10,000 kids.
My goodness.
How does it work? I mean, Santa's Workshop, okay, cool name and all that, but how does it work?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question because most people really don't know. They just show up and get toys and it's just easy. So we are a very well-oiled machine. We're all volunteer board.
Said the lady on top.
Yeah. No, we really are. I get to do the cool things like come and do podcasts, but our board, they are so giving of their time and such amazing people. And year after year, we get blessed with just the most gracious people that give of their time. And it's just amazing to see how much they are willing to do for their fellow military families here on Fort Hood. And it's awesome to be able to see that and be around people who are so amazing year after year.
Well, you've got the volunteer effort. Tell me, I looked on the website and it says you got to be 18 or over 18 to be an elf. Tell me what an elf is, because there's levels of volunteer.
You don't know what an elf is?
Well, no, I mean, in conjunction.
So we have our board, which is our permanent governing body.
Yeah.
And then every year during shop days, which is our culminating event for the season, when families actually get to come in and get their toys.
Which starts when?
It starts the 30th of November.
Wow, that's coming up.
Yeah, it's the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So Santa's going to be busy over Thanksgiving. We hope him and his reindeers don't eat too much. We need them operational come Monday morning.
We'll get him in for PT.
So an elf, tell me.
So an elf, when the families come in to shop, they go through the workshop. This year's a little different. We'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
But the elf will greet the family and take them through the workshop to help them pick out their stocking stuffer, their 2 gifts, their board game, and their book. And then they're with them through the whole process all the way up to checking out, because we do actually check out, like at a cash register kind of checkout.
Wow. Okay.
So the elves are really the heart of our operation during shop days, because there's not enough of us on the board to help all the families shop, especially when you're talking about the numbers that we service. So our elves are really an integral part, and we couldn't do it without them. And it's, again, people come in out of the community and pulling together for the good of our organization.
So the shop days are kind of nonstop. It's clockwork, right?
Yes.
Yes. Here's another family. Here's another family.
Yes.
Here's another family. Here's another family.
So our applications really drive shop days. Actually, our applications, and it kind of is all connected. So our applications determine how many kids we're servicing. Right. That in turn goes to inventory, and we look and see, do we have enough toys for each category, which drives toy buying. And the applications chair actually figures out how many families we have. We've got that 2-week period. How long do shop days need to be? And we have set times set for each family. And it is very much like clockwork, which is why it's so important for our unit reps to let their families know so people show up on time.
Sure.
And we can't just sit and allow someone to come in outside of their time, because we've got somebody coming in on the back end of that, and somebody's on the back end of that, and then the next day starts. So it's really important for us to stick to our schedule.
What other kinds of volunteers do you guys have? I mean, I know you got the board, you got the elves. This isn't just a 2-week period at the end of the year. No. Okay, we're busy now. This is a year-long thing, right?
It is a year-long thing. Our board year runs from April to March of the following year, and we do work year-round. So when we have ruck marches, we'll have volunteers to come in to help us bring the toys in, sort them so we can get them inventoried and put on the shelves. Normally when we have fundraisers, we'll have volunteers come in. So this year the volunteer opportunities have been kind of limited, only because COVID has really kind of changed how we operate and the things that we're able to do.
Now, Melissa, your unit just did a toy ruck, right?
Yes, on Friday the 13th.
Oh.
We got a lot of really good toys from that one.
Awesome. I'm glad. He had brought up the person I interviewed, he had brought up a bunch of changes that are happening this year, which I find wild. So he was saying that the financial reps are going to be the ones to do the shopping for the families this year. Is that still happening?
That is a contingency for us. So we made the decision to not have families come in and shop for a couple reasons. One, we needed to make sure we were compliant with all Fort Hood guidance. And two, we wanted to make sure that we kept our families safe and that we were able to continue to operate, because if one of us becomes COVID positive, then everyone else has to self-quarantine for 14 days and the operation shuts down.
Right.
So we had to find a way to be able to still provide a first-class experience for our families, but do so safely.
Right.
So as it stands right now, depending upon how things go after the holidays, the families will come in to get their gifts. We're still going to have elves shopping for our families. And the families will come check in, and we're going to have it pre-bagged and tagged, and they will procure their things that way.
Right.
The second course of action that we have set aside as a fallback, if it looks like we need to limit contact in the workshop even more, that will then turn to the unit reps will come in and grab all of the bags that we have tagged for their respective organizations' families and go back and disperse them amongst the unit.
Well, at least the families still get to go over to Santa's workshop and pick up their stuff, so they still get that experience.
Yeah.
Also, what he had said is that not a lot of organizations are able to donate this year because of COVID. How has that affected the Santa's workshop this year?
Well, it really hasn't affected us so much. We were very, very fortunate the past couple years. Last year, we brought in about $28,000 in monetary donations, not counting goods in kind. Didn't count the proceeds from Pick and Pint, which is around $8,000.
Right.
So we went into this year well over our operating budget. Which was very good for us because we didn't know what this year was going to bring. So we haven't really been affected. Thankfully, we've been insulated a little bit because we were blessed last year with a lot of donors and things of that nature. We did a lot of grant requests last year.
That's awesome.
Yes, and it also allows us for the next year's board to leave them with some cushion also because you don't know what the economy is going to do. You don't know how much people are able to still provide. 13th COSCOM still donated $500. We have a motorcycle club, which is fantastic. They're like a grassroots organization. So December 6th, we're going to go out to the American Legion in Harker Heights, and we always get around $5,000 to $7,000 to them, and they're hugely supportive. So they just contacted us, and they're going to support. So some of our every year donors we know are still donating. So we are very, very happy that it hasn't.
It's very good to know that COVID hasn't affected Christmas for
COVID will not cancel Christmas.
COVID will not cancel Christmas. No. We ordered Santa that it's still going to happen.
The president has spoken.
Exactly. So what is a Ruck March donation? You mentioned it. I'm not really sure what that is.
So, last week, I'm sure it was in the works because we do it every year. So everybody, they got their rucksacks together. Weight didn't matter.
Okay.
They put toys in their rucksacks. They ruck 4 miles, come back and drop the toys in the box, and then the financial specialists and volunteers.
Santa's workshop is on the top of the hill, where Clear Creek Commissary is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start on Battalion Avenue somewhere, you're in a valley.
Yeah.
So that 4 mile ruck is almost all uphill.
But it's a happy 4 mile ruck. Because you wind up at the happiest place on Fort Hood, Santa's workshop.
Who's carrying the drum set?
Yeah. The ruck marches
drummers
are awesome for us. So normally, usually someone in the S3 shop will coordinate with our VP of operations and coordinate the date. We'll set a date, time. That way we know to show up to be there when you guys come.
Sure.
And then it also is helpful because they also ask us what we need. So we're able to really get with inventory and toy buying, kind of give a more targeted. So units can know that when they do ruck marches and bring toys in, it's toys we actually have a need for, and we are so thankful to get them. So ruck marches are really, really cool.
I've never heard of that. My unit does not do that.
Well, you know,
Well, you need to tell them they should
I
start.
know.
You
Yeah. Look at
you guys are small compared to a lot of these.
Yeah,
units
that's
that
true.
are
We're pretty
going after
tiny.
It's
it.
fun. We see some pretty cool like Christmas suits and
Oh my gosh, you can dress
Lighting
up.
garlands.
I'm sold
Oh
already.
my gosh. Last year, there was this lieutenant. She dressed up and did her hair like a who.
Oh, like Cindy.
Yes,
Cindy,
Cindy Lou Who.
Yes, she had like little bottles in her hair and her hair was wrapped around it.
Cute.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
They get
fun.
interesting.
We have a huge one coming up on the 25th. 60-second engineers always. They
Right.
are famous for putting on a big show. Last year we had all kind of military vehicles. So they contacted us this year and said we still want to do it. We're like,
Nice.
okay.
That's
So I'm
great.
very interested to see what 60-second is going to do this year.
That'll be exciting.
And
Oh
you
my
know,
goodness.
you can throw down the gauntlet and make a challenge to all Fort Hood units to, you know,
Who can be the best dressed?
yeah,
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
You could do like a best
bring the
dressed ruck
toys
march
and
award.
bring the Christmas
Yes.
cheer,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, they do. I'm telling you, there's all kinds of Christmas cheer that comes. People bring their dogs and they're dressed up too. It's really fun, and it's a morale event for the unit.
Yeah,
so it's a
absolutely.
win-win situation.
Right.
Absolutely. So shopping days are coming up at the end of this month.
Yes.
Tell me how families. I know the application process is already closed for this holiday season, but not too early to talk about how that works and what kind of families are we talking about?
So the shop days are the first 2 weeks of December. This year, November 30th happens to fall kind of within
Sure.
that range. So our shop days are starting the Monday after Thanksgiving. And once our application process is ended, our applications chair, we then process the applications and put them in our system. And we sort them by unit, and our applications chair will have all the unit reps come back in, whatever the unit rep is designated for that particular organization. And they get all of their families and their shop times that we have prescribed for them. And then they, in turn, give that to the families. And then the families show up on shop days to check in. We'll check them into the system. So the process is actually really easy.
How do they apply? Is that an online thing?
You can download the website. Download the website. That'd be kind of hard, wouldn't it? You can download the application from the website, or our application chair can always email the unit rep or email the family directly.
Okay.
The applications can be downloaded and filled in PDF, which is actually kind of easier because it's really hard
Right.
to decipher some of that. Let me tell you, it's difficult. Even with my reading glasses, it's hard. Or they can, hand jam it. And then once the families complete the application, we ask that a green suitor, someone in their leadership, commander, first sergeant, sign it off, kind of verifying like, yes, there's a need kind of thing.
Sure.
And the unit reps collect all of the applications. Once the families filled it out, the green suitor signed it, they turn them back into us, which goes to our application chair.
You've been doing this how long?
This is my 4th year with the workshop as a board member, and I started elfing a year before that.
5 years.
Nice.
And we've been here 5 years this time at Fort Hood.
So
This time.
tell me how it feels to be an elf and to be part of that process. What does it do for the volunteer?
Oh, wow. I got scooped up by some of my neighbors that said, hey, Santa Workshop needs some volunteers. You want to go help? I'm like, well, what's Santa's Workshop? Sure, I'll go help shop. Shop. Why not? So we went over to the workshop, and it's just the feeling in the workshop is fantastic. And then you see the relief on these families' faces when you're helping them shop, and they are so thankful and grateful. And there's really nothing else that compares to it. But that's how they get you, see. You elf.
Yeah.
You elf. And then they're like, hey, there's one position open. Do you want to volunteer for the board? So watch out if you elf. No, I'm just kidding. We really don't. But it's a fantastic experience because, depending upon what you're doing in the community, you might not have a lot of opportunity to interact with your fellow military families, depending upon. And so to be able to actually get in there and see the people who are here with you going through the same thing day in and day out and be able to help them in some way is phenomenal. And we don't have a rank or any kind of parameters for our application. So any family in need can apply.
Sure.
But most of the time, our targeted demographic is E5 and below. That's what we see the most of.
Right.
But we service someone of any rank because things happen, right? And it doesn't just happen to a private. It can happen to anyone. So we want to make sure that we're available to help everybody on post.
Outstanding.
So is that everyone anyone that's active duty can apply?
Yes, correct. Including the Guard and Reserves that are up at North Fort Hood with Div West mobbing and demobbing. So we actually had quite a few applications from them this year, which we're always really happy when we get maybe an organization that we haven't had people apply from before or a few. And so we proactively reached out to Div West this year to make sure, just because Guard and Reserve, those guys have civilian jobs, they're here. You don't know how that's affecting their family. So we really wanted to make sure that we were encompassing as many people as possible this year.
That's great.
Yeah.
So how do you know when you apply, how do you know you've been chosen?
How do you know you've been selected? Your unit rep will contact you back. So applications were due on the 23rd of October, and that most units will back up about a week so that they can give them to us. And if there's any corrections or things we still need, we can get them back to the unit, and then they can get them back to us. And it normally takes a few weeks. So applications the deadline was the 23rd, which this year I'm not going to allow. We accepted them after the fact from several organizations because we didn't want to miss anybody. So we were a little flexible. My application chair is probably going to kill me for saying that. But we just didn't really want to, miss an opportunity to help someone, especially this year.
Such a hard year.
Yeah. And once we receive those applications, the applications chair will then go over them. Is there anything missing? Are we able to help them? Things like that. And then we put them in our system. We actually have an inventory system called Inflow, and that's how we manage all of our toys. And that's also how we manage our applications. So we put them in our system. And then around the second week in November, so last week and this week, unit reps have been coming in, and they come into the applications chair, and she gives them a folder, and we have pre-printed letters which tells the families like what shop days are going to look like. Here's your designated time, and then the unit rep in turn gives those to the family. So we have had some people either message us on Facebook or email applications saying, hey, I don't know if I have been approved, what's the status? And so applications will normally reach back out to that family and say, oh, yeah, well, I see you're in the system, you're approved. Unit reps have been picking up shop times this week, so you'll hear sometime by Monday, just let us know. So the unit reps go back and tell the families. Yeah, absolutely. They're really, really important. And the cool thing about the unit reps is we don't dictate. Like, it doesn't have to be a CFS or an FRL. It's whomever the commander chooses to be the unit rep. So it really gives the commanders flexibility on who the best person would be to work with us.
How many volunteers are we talking about that make up Santa's Workshop?
Well, the board, let's see, I'll go through my board. So there's myself, and then we have Mary Britton, who's our first VP of Operations. She was actually supposed to join us today, but today we're doing our dry run, if you will, test run of how shop days are going to go, just so we're prepared. So they're actually over there slaving away right now. So she couldn't join us today. And then we've got Emily Dirks is our secretary. She makes sure that we do what we say. She records all of our minutes at our meetings, so she kind of keeps us straight. Dana Key is our parliamentarian, and Dana is also the president of Spouses Club.
Yes,
and she volunteers with us also.
Yep.
And then our treasurer is Ashley Dixon. Ashley Dixon is also volunteers with PWOC.
Okay.
Most of our volunteers are dual-hatted somewhere else. Let's see, who else do we have? Inventory team is Casey Sanders and Molly Capra. toy buyer is Lisa Redford. She has the best job ever. Let's see. Publicity is Kimber Trimper. Hospitality is Cindy Rudy. And we could not forget applications chair. That's Laura Porter. And Chella Stocco is our volunteer coordinator, who is also really important because without her, we couldn't get the elves and we couldn't shop. So it's, I'll say it again, like everything is all interwoven. And
normally we don't do endorsements, but because you guys are a charity and you do rely on some bigger donors out there, any organizations out there that have always been there for you that you really want to give a shout out to?
Oh, absolutely. 13th COSCOM. They have always been, 13th COSCOM Association, excuse me, it's the PO. They are hugely supportive. Jay Taggart, as long as I've been around Santa's Workshop, and I think historically, they have always supported us by way of going and picking up donations from Dallas if we needed them to. Jay Taggart last year got us linked up with a Walmart distribution center down in Houston.
Wow.
And just this next week, we've got Sergeant Audie Murphy Club getting some volunteer service hours.
Nice.
They're driving down to Galveston for us to pick up 8 pallets of toys.
Wow.
So the relationships that we get and are developed through Jay Taggart and those guys and gals over at the 13th COSCOM Association are really vital, and they are super supportive. And then 13th ESC, even though we're not directly affiliated or linked to either of them anymore, 13th ESC houses us. The building that we're in is theirs.
Right.
And we are so grateful for that.
Yeah.
And any support we need, they're always more than willing. HEB is a huge supporter. Camo Santa. We get Camo Santa every year between the 18th and the 20th of December.
Yeah.
And that is a fantastic, I don't know, are you guys familiar with Camo Santa or what they do for us?
I've never
One of
heard
the
of
TV
them.
stations, right? Sponsors that.
Channel 6, I think.
KCEN.
Yes.
NBC.
Yes. And so HEB puts out big boxes at their stores from Dallas all the way down, and they start putting the donations out, I want to say November timeframe. And so customers will purchase toys and put them in the boxes.
Right.
And normally we have a semi full of those boxes,
Wow.
like
Oh
not
my
stacked up, but
goodness.
the full length of the semi.
Wow.
And that really helps us for the board next year. That kind of refills our toy coffers, if you will.
Yeah.
And so that is a huge donation that HEB does year in and year out.
Nice.
2020 has been sort of a dumpster fire for everybody.
Not at Santa's Workshop.
Aren't you glad, though, that you get to end this with, by putting some smiles on
Yes.
people's faces?
100%. Any
awesome.
kind of joy that we can provide our fellow humans at this time, I think is super. And then, not just your fellow humans, but our military community is very unique. Less than 1% of our population chooses to serve.
That's it.
So those of you that have a uniform on, first, thank you for what you do every day. But there's not a lot of people that say, I'll raise my right hand.
That's right.
And then the families, you're in a small pool too, because your families don't understand what you're going through anymore. Your fellow military spouses and military families do. So to be able not just to do something good for humankind, if you will,
Right.
to get to service the military community there's nothing better.
Well, Katheryn, thank you for everything you do. This show does drop on Thanksgiving Day, so happy Thanksgiving!
Yes.
Turkey Day!
It's every Thursday.
Be
This thing hits online. So thank you very much for coming by. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. It
And
was
for all your hard
Thank
work
you
and
so
dedication.
much.
And
Yes.
Melissa,
Yes.
take us out.
What? I was like out for good.
No.
Like it's the end.
No, out of this segment.
Oh. Well, definitely thank you for joining us, and we will be right back.
Oh, no!
This is terrible, Chief.
I know. He was such a fat, jolly old elf. If only he had been wearing his seatbelt. Those eyes won't be twinkling anymore, Lou.
Probably thought it saved him time while he hopped in and out of his sleigh.
Well, it might have saved him time, but it cost him his life. What are we going to tell the kids, Lou? What are we going to tell the kids?
Tragic events like this don't have to happen. Studies show that wearing a seatbelt reduces serious crash-related injuries and deaths by half. Buckle up. It's not just smart, it's the law.
Ho, ho, ho! I'm okay, thanks to Christmas magic. Oh, what's this?
A ticket.
Oh.
Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast, now available at those fancy schmancy streaming sites.
Coming on strong on a Monday. I feel so low.
And we're back. That was interesting, don't you think?
Very riveting.
Wouldn't you want to be an elf?
Absolutely.
Santa's workshop?
Heck yeah.
Huh?
I'd love to shop for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was a historic moment on November 19th here at Fort Hood. And what it was they broke ground on the new museum. It's the National Mounted Warfare Museum.
Right.
And they had lots of keynote speakers and lots of high muckety-mucks. But among those was former 3 Corps Commanding General and current U.S. Army Training and Doctrine Commanding General, General Paul Funk II.
Oh,
Nice.
he came all the way back down here.
Came back
for
to his
little old
hometown.
us.
Yeah.
You're
And,
awesome.
So let's give him a listen.
So I've got prepared remarks, but first, before I start the prepared remarks, I gotta apologize to a couple of guys in the crowd. Ron Perry and my dad, Butch Funk, because I said 9 years ago, don't do this, it's not ever gonna happen. And look at me, I'm wrong again. So congratulations. And Bill, thanks for your remarks. Johnny, thanks for yours as well. And I wish Pat was here. But Emma, thanks for representing him. Beth and I, it's great to be here. So distinguished guests, family and friends, fellow general officers and veterans, good morning. And thank you for being here today. My name is Funk, and I am an American soldier, a mounted warrior, and a very proud mounted warrior. So, and you might be asking yourself, why am I here? Well, there are 2 reasons. First of all, Fort Hood is literally in my blood. This is my home. But secondly, on behalf of Army senior leaders, I'm here today as the commander of the Army's Training and Doctrine Command because the National Mounted Warrior Museum will soon join TRADOC's incredible Center of Military History's Museums Directorate. Today is an incredible step to preserve the legacy of the mounted soldier and tell their untold story. Soldiers like Jackie Robinson, whose undaunted courage, who historically integrated baseball. By the way, go Dodgers, world champions. And he served here at Fort Hood, Texas in the 76th 1st Tank Battalion. Soldiers like Medal of Honor recipient Herbert Bearer from the 41st Tank Battalion in the 11th Armor Division, who, despite losing his crew to an enemy rocket, possessed the tenacity and grit necessary to use his tank as a battering ram to overrun and destroy German anti-tank guns at fighting positions in World War II. Soldiers like the warriors of Apache Troop 19 Cav, in the Spearhead Division, led by another warrior named Funk. 100 of the generations of the brave mounted warriors who fought to keep evil at bay. And like Lewis and Clark, this foundation determined to tell the story of undaunted courage of our nation's mounted soldiers, the ones who rode into battle on horseback, as well as the tankers and infantrymen, artillerymen and aviators, logisticians, engineers, military policemen, signal soldiers and intelligence soldiers, who fought alongside. The warriors of America's first team and the regiment of mounted riflemen. This museum will tell their stories at my hometown. And after 9 years of relentless efforts to breach countless obstacles, today we have the privilege to break ground for a world-class facility. We are taking another step on the humble journey the remarkable men and women of this foundation began nearly a decade ago to guarantee that the memory of these trailblazers, whose shoulders we stand on today, will be memorialized for generations to come. Lastly, I'd like to give a big shout out to all the mounted warriors throughout history, from St. George and Joan of Arc, to the warriors and mounted riflemen of Chapultepec, from the air cavalry warriors in the jungles of Vietnam, to the riflemen and mounted soldiers who fought in the deserts of Iraq and the mountains of Afghanistan, and to all the mounted warriors deployed around the world today. Here's to the ones who got it done, time and time again. The ones who today, who continue to stand guard on the front lines of freedom around the world this very moment. Thank you for your service, your sacrifices, and your undaunted courage. The National Mounted Warfare Museum is your museum, and we look forward to the National Mounted Warrior Museum joining TRADOC's Center for Military History's Museums Directorate. And more importantly, we look forward to telling the story and being part of the legend. As I said when I started, Ron, Dad, well done. My name is Monk, and I'm a Phantom Warrior, and I really would like to thank Pat White for letting me do this today. So Pat, I know you're at ForceCom headquarters, but I really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody today. Again, this will tell our story. Thank you very much.
Yay! Ooh, that's it right there.
All right.
Nice.
All right. All right, that's enough for the general. Okay. So, it is Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
It is great that you're here, and hopefully, everybody out there in our listening audience is enjoying their holiday.
Yes, we love you guys.
Yes.
Yeah. Had enough today? You
Enough
ready to
for
go
what?
celebrate? Are you done here? Are you ready to go
Yes.
home?
Are we
I'm ready
ever
to get
done?
stuffed.
Are we?
Get stuffed.
Did you get any soldiers to take you up on the offer?
No.
Yeah, you were kind of bumming you last week.
I feel like they'll come last minute.
Right.
Like
right.
it's always a last minute
right
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was overseas.
Still going to send the invite out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they heard about your cooking.
I don't know. No, my cooking's real good.
Yeah.
It has grown over the past 10 years.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, grown in size too, because I cook a lot of food.
Well, yeah, you do have a house full.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
actually cooking meat is new for me.
You were a vegetarian for a
I
long
was a
time?
vegetarian for almost 17 years.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
And
really?
then
And she
a
took up
vegan for
hunting.
2 years.
Wow.
And now I cook meat.
Wow.
What was the reason for the change?
I needed some extra protein for lifting,
Wow.
and
Ah.
I couldn't change my diet enough.
So the
to get it.
army.
Tofu didn't cut it, huh?
Nope.
Well,
Nope.
there you go.
Oh. Well, we're glad you've joined the meat eating gang.
The carnivore.
Yes.
Carnivore gang.
Carnivore gang.
All right. And with that, ladies, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
See you on the flip side of December, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost
And we
there.
have celebration of love coming this week. So
Nice.
there you go.
Excited. I can't wait.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
See ya.
Driving down the road again. Guitar starts thinning and cracks crumble